19 hours remain until the Illinois General Assembly is set to gavel itself out for the year, and Governor Pritzker made clear that he is not a fan of the latest version of a bill to rescue public transit here in Illinois.
As it is, it's not going forward. There's got to be a lot of discussion between the House and the Senate in order to come up with a final bill, because it isn't going to look like what the House has put forward.
So to talk about where we go from here to avert major cuts to train and bus service statewide, we are joined once again by Streets Blog Chicago editor John Greenfield. John, good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so what is the governor's concern with the new bill under consideration by the House?
You know, from what I've seen, it's not clear he's made it exactly clear what the problem is. Real quick, the things that are in discussion are a 7% amusement tax on streaming, $5 surcharge on large concerts and events, the billionaires tax, which is a new thing that was a little surprising, a 4.95% tax on unrealized gains on investments and assets. There's also interest in putting speed cameras by suburban churches and hospitals. I mean, I know that Pritzker was not happy about the speed cameras. There's been some issues with corruption and how traffic enforcement has been done, automatic traffic enforcement. On the other hand, automatic traffic enforcement, speed cameras and red light cameras have been shown to save lives in Chicago and other parts of the region. So, I think it makes sense to have more of them.
You've been talking to Springfield power brokers, so to speak. How optimistic are they that a compromise can be reached that pleases both chambers and Governor Pritzker?
Well, I interviewed the guy who's one of the people who's leading the House charge on the bill, Cam Buckner, representative, and I interviewed him in the afternoon, and he sounded pretty optimistic about all this stuff. And then I checked the news, and I saw that Pritzker had done sort of a Debbie Downer act about the bill. So, when I looked back at what Buckner said, it seems like there may be some difference of opinion about how much information the governor's office got about what was in the bill. So, I don't really understand the governor's logic in doing something that might make it impossible to pass the bill, because it's not going to look good for his presidential chances. He's supposedly interested in running for president if our transit system collapses while he's at the wheel.
Yeah, especially coming yesterday at sort of the last minute, too. So if we do get to the end of today with still no bill passed, where does it go from here?
Well, if that happens, it seems very likely that the CTA, PACE, and Metra are going to have to trim their sails, are going to have to issue some pink slips, plan on cutting service next year, which is going to be really bad for the Illinois economy. I think what would happen is we're just going to wait until the spring session to try to pass legislation, but maybe they'll find some kind of Band-Aid solution. Right now, the transit fiscal gap, as they call it, for next year is over $200 million. Previously, it was $771 million. So, maybe they'll figure out some kind of Band-Aid, but it would be much better if they could just do a long-term solution now.
Absolutely. We will see what happens. John Greenfield, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing all of your reporting with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.